Resurgent India Knowledge Series presents live webinar on Factoring and Equipment Financing, Turning Assets into Opportunities. Moderator Mr. K.K. Gupta, Director, Resurgent India Limited. Eminent speakers: Mr. Neeraj Gupta, Managing Director, Enitra India. Mr. Tushar Bach, Senior Director, M1 Exchange. Mr. Kailash Kumar Varodia, Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer, Receivables Exchange of India Limited. Mrs. Kavita Thakur, Zonal Head, Central Bank of India. Mr. Bhavesh Patel, Managing Director, Opulence Business Solution Private Limited.
Sir, I think you are on mute.
Sorry, sir. I am K.K. Gupta here, Director Resurgent India, and we are today eminent speaker with us. As you listen to Bhavesh Patel sir with us, Neeraj Gupta sir with us, Kailash Kumar sir with us, and Tushar sir with us. Beside that, in Accentia, Mrs. Kavita Thakur, who is the Field General Manager, Central Bank of India. She sent a message to us in a video. We will broadcast to you, inform you what the Central Bank of India is doing in respect of the equipment financing and other sectors. So, sir, today webinar, we have more than 600 participants in a different fields. That is entrepreneurs, that is a financial advisor, even certain bankers are also in this webinar. Who is listening to us for equipment financing and factoring. The SME sector, what we are talking about, is playing a very big role for the development of the economy. Either we are talking about the GDP, we are talking about employment, or any sector, SME play a very important role. In all webinar, we used to discuss financing, traditional financing from the banking sector. Either we talk about the cash credit, term loan, or non-fund based limits. But this aspect we are ignoring for the equipment financing, because that were the idle assets with the SME sector, whether they develop in the technology aspect or they want to purchase some machinery, they want to divert from the working capital to purchase the machinery. Instead of that, for going for the equipment financing. Regarding the receivable also, they are not aware how to approach the exchanges to discount their bills. Whether the bills of 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs they are eligible, that we are going to discuss, and how they can take the facility. Because this receivable can be discounted by the exchange platform, where the banks are also participating, where all the big corporates are also participating for that. It can be without recourse for that. That means once you have discounted the bill, your liability gone. I think this aspect, SME sector are ignorant. They are not fully aware of all the factual positions. So we are discussing. As per information goes, as per research paper goes, the factoring has a big market. So up to 133 billion market was there. Now we feel that it may going to be double by 2033. It can be said that it can be 212.2 billion US dollar. This market can be there. Similarly, we are talking about the equipment financing. The growth rate will be 8 to 9%. That means instead of a traditional financing by the bank, now they switch over to the equipment financing. We are talking about equipment financing, that we also talk about the sale and purchase, repurchase, these assets. I think this concept is also coming very fast. Where if you want an entrepreneur want some assets to be purchased, they can be purchased on need basis. That means they will have to pay the rent only, and the assets belong to the lessor. And such aspect, new concept is coming out. So today webinar is a very important aspect which we are talking about. So in absentee of field general manager, Madam Thakur, she sent me one video. So I request to play the video. Then I am coming to Mr. Neeraj Gupta sir, who is one of the entrepreneurs, newly entrepreneur, and he has a vast experience under the financial sector. So we want to know from him as an entrepreneur what he is expecting from the bank and how he is feeling that the bank without collateral security equipment financing can be done, or what his expectation from the banking sector. Then I am coming to Bhavesh sir, who is expert under the fields of the equipment financing and other aspects, because big experience with him. So we'll talk to him what he says about the regulations and what type of regulation required to be changed if required for that. Now I request my team to please play the video sent by Madam Miss Thakur. Thank you.
Respecting all the dignitaries on the dais and our valuable audience, I am Kavita Thakur, General Manager, Central Bank of India, presently posted as Zonal Head, Ahmedabad. Today I speak on equipment financing by banks. And before coming to that topic, I will like to define MSME sector and role of our bank in the MSME.
Then we aren't able to see the video still.
MSMEs are engine of growth for developing economies like India. MSMEs are our future. MSMEs contribute nearly 30% to India's GDP and account for almost 48% of our exports. Largest sources of employment after agriculture, providing livelihoods to over 110 million people. MSMEs are not just economic contributors, they are also social stabilizers. For Viksit Bharat 2047, our government has focused on mainly 4 pillars, that is farmers, women, youth.
At least I am not able to see the video, KKG.
MSMEs also focus
Please see
mainly
to it, yeah.
on all-round development of
Please
economy.
see to it. Okay, go ahead.
It's audible and visible also.
You are visible, please go ahead with this video, please. Hello?
Empower women and youth, preserve traditional skills and uplift rural economies. MSMEs also face significant challenges like limited access to credit, lack of advanced technology, issues of marketing and competition from the global giants. Government of India has taken initiatives such as Make in India, Digital India and the CGTMSE scheme to strengthen and support this vital sector. I will like to define the vision and schemes of our bank, Central Bank of India, how our bank is contributing to MSME. Timely credit determines whether a promising idea becomes a thriving enterprise or it remains a dream only. Apart from with general MSME schemes, Central Bank of India also has tailor-made schemes aligned with government policies to further support the MSMEs. With attractive pricing, loan amount up to ₹100 crore and minimum documentation. I will like to start from the base level, Cent Mudra. Shishu, Kishore, Tarun and Tarun Plus schemes as defined by our government. Then Cent Textile, maximum loan up to 100 crores. Then Cent Ceramic scheme, maximum loan up to 50 crores. Cent Contractor scheme, maximum loan up to 5 crores. Cent Warehouse receipt, maximum rupees 25 crores. Cent GST scheme, maximum rupees 5 CR. Sent Sanjeevani for doctors and hospitals, maximum rupees 100 crores. Then sent export, maximum rupees 50 crores. Sent hotel, maximum rupees 100 crore. Sent trades, trade receivables e-discounting scheme, there is no limit on it. Supply chain finance, channel financing. Besides this, our bank has in place following initiatives for MSME sector: special women entrepreneur cell, concessional rate of interest for Z certified MSMEs, co-lending partnerships, CGTMSE coverage to MSME borrowers, cluster based schemes. In conclusion, I will say big dreams in small packages. To conclude, MSME may be small in size, but they carry big dreams, big potential, and big impact. They are not just enterprises, they are the heartbeat of India's economy. Let us not look at them as small businesses, but as a nation builders, as the pillars on which our economy rests. If we can ensure that every MSME with a good idea and hard work receives the financial support it deserves, we will not only strengthen this sector but also achieve the larger vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Every time you support an MSME, you are not just helping a business, you are empowering a family, uplifting a community, and strengthening the nation. Now I will come to my topic: equipment financing. In today's fast-paced business environment, technology and machinery define productivity, quality, and cost efficiency. Whether it's a farmer purchasing a modern tractor, a manufacturer installing CNC machines, a hospital acquiring advanced diagnostic tools, or a startup investing in IT infrastructure, equipment is the heart of progress. But equipment is also expensive for most businesses, especially micro, small and medium enterprises. Paying upfront is neither feasible nor wise. This is where equipment financing becomes a game changer. Equipment financing is a form of credit that helps businesses purchase or lease machinery, tools and technology. Instead of blocking large amounts of working capital, companies can spread the cost over time while generating income from the use of that equipment. This ensures that businesses can stay modern, competitive, and efficient without being burdened by high upfront costs. Types of equipment finance offered by banks are term loans for equipment purchase, equipment leasing, hire purchase agreement, structured finance where the borrower pays rental/installments to own the asset eventually. Then working capital limit financing, short-term loans for repair and maintenance of machinery. Some special schemes are tailored financing for agriculture like tractors, harvesters, transport commercial vehicles, then medical line screeners, surgical equipment, or MSME. Apart from increase in efficiency and business growth, equipment financing offers following benefits. It preserves our working capital, it gives us tax benefits, global competitiveness, and quality control. And what challenges we face in equipment financing as bankers? Asset obsolescence. Equipment may lose value very quickly. Borrower default. Repayment ability depends on business performance. Then resale value. Value of any equipment depreciates very fast, and resale value is very low, and sometimes it diminishes to even scrap value. Now the question comes, can MSMEs with little or no credit history still get access to equipment loans? Yes, as a banker, my reply is yes. MSMEs with little or no credit history can still get access to equipment loans. Many banks and NBFCs assess other factors also, such as business viability, projected revenues and cash flows, promoter profile, experience, qualification, net worth, credit worthiness, etc. And additionally, schemes backed by CGTMSE like government initiatives allow collateral free loans for first time borrowers. However, lenders may charge slightly higher interest or ask for limited security oblique guarantee, particularly for those borrowers who are not having the credit history. Moreover, having good credit score will be giving an additional advantage for better pricing and higher credit amount. Next question comes, what are the key criteria for banks while evaluating MSMEs for equipment finance? We as a bankers, we see the business profile and vintage, nature of industry, years, how much years in operation, then its financial health, its business turnover, profitability, cash flows, existing debts outstanding. Then we see the promoters oblique owners profile, experience, credit worthiness, repayment capacity. Then we also see the equipment details, type of equipment, utility for business, supplier credibility, etc. We also see the repayment ability, whether the projected income or ROI from equipment the borrower is able to bear or not. Then what collateral security is offering. Sometimes equipment itself is hypothecated, and sometimes we take additional collateral also. Compliance, GST returns, IT returns, KYC documents and registrations under Udyam MSME certificate, whether the borrower is complying with all these documents or not. Next question comes, how much margin money, own contribution does an MSME typically need to bring in for equipment finance? Typically, banks expect 10 to 25% margin money, own contribution, depending on the borrower's credit profile, type of equipment financed, loan scheme. For example, under government backed schemes, margin may be lower. And at last, I will say that banks are all time available to uplift the MSME sector, and banks are having the most constructive contribution for taking our economy towards Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you. In absentia, I am thankful to Madam Thakur who explained all the schemes of the equipment financing. It would have been better if should be present so we can ask some questions. So we are happy to know that Central Bank of India is providing a great financing under the equipments. Besides, she mentioned about the small player, but they are national builder. I think this is an important aspect for the SME sector.
Gupta ji, can I jump in here?
I'm coming back to you, sir. I'm coming back.
Okay.
So that is the point she mentioned about the upfront. She asking that they should have a equipment financing and hire purchase. She also told that facility is also available with the Central Bank of India. Now I am coming to the entrepreneurs who has a vast experience under the fields of financial aspects. We want to set up some unit also. So Mr. Neeraj Gupta. So please, Gupta sir, give your thought about the equipment financing, Mr. Gupta sir. Please.
So that 10-minute speech sounded like a child has been asked to write an essay and somebody's asked to deliver that as a speech.
Okay, sir.
Please. Fact is that none of the banks are willing to take risk on MSMEs, and for good reason. I'll give you an example of Central Bank itself. So I got an email from Central Bank saying that we have the same list of schemes that she's just told us about, and please come and meet us. They gave a number, and I was really glad about it that Here is a bank approaching themselves, giving a list of numbers of their people whom we should approach for MSME financing. I spoke with that guy. He said, please come to our office. I went all the way to his office. Meeting lasted 30 seconds. The zonal head said, no, we cannot do this unless you give us 100% fixed deposit. So while they have all these schemes, they're not willing to take risk. That's the fact. Now, whether it's factoring, whether it's hire purchase, whether it's equipment financing, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Basically, banks will do your financing only if you have a credible risk at the other end. If you have an off-taker who is credible. Now, factoring, I used to work with GE Capital 97 to 2000. We used to talk about factoring in those days. It still hasn't taken off in India. The reason is everyone wants to only discount those bills which have a credible party on the other side, which is not happening, right? Because if I have a credible party, then I don't need factoring. So if you look at any MSME which is looking to start business in India, and she mentioned 10 to 25% margin, it doesn't work like that. They will not. So if somebody has a very good idea, he wants to go and set up a small unit, first question that the banks are going to ask is that, do you have a contract on the other end? Who's buying it? Is it Hindustan Lever or Reliance or Adani or someone buying it? If they're buying it, where is the contract? Let's take a look at the contract and do it. I don't blame the banks because they do not have the capacity to take that risk where they look at financing a MSME or a SME and run the risk that this may or may not succeed. Now, how does it happen in other countries? So she spoke about this CDT MSME scheme. Try applying for that scheme. Go to the website. You will spend 10 minutes on the website, get frustrated, leave it and walk away.
So,
that website is simply listing these are MLIs, the banks. Please approach them and they will process your application. They will not even entertain you. That's the fact of on the ground today. MSMEs, if as an MSME you go to any bank, they will ask for additional collateral. If I have additional collateral, why would I come to you? I would do it myself.
right.
If I have fixed deposit, why will I come? Axis Bank told me, you give us 100% fixed deposit. And I told the guy, I said, aren't you embarrassed saying that? I have been a banker long enough. I would be really embarrassed saying such a thing. If I can give you 100% fixed deposit, I'll do it myself. Why would I come to you?
Why should come to you? Yes.
So that's the fact. Now, how can that change? That can only change if there is an agency which is providing insurance. And this has to be a professional agency who knows how to underwrite risk and provide insurance. Now, for that agency to be able to do that, you need enforcement, judicial system which is stronger, where if a default happens, lender or the insurer can go and enforce security. That's another challenge, which is why I'm saying I don't blame these banks because they have burnt their fingers. Today, if they finance equipment or do factoring for any MSME, and for any reason it goes bad, as she mentioned, the equipment's value will be zero. So what will the bank do? So which is why banks are rather more comfortable financing bigger companies because they know that those companies still have some cushion somewhere or the other if they have the intention to repay. An MSME owner, he's an entrepreneur who's starting small, poor guy. She said, we will look at their net worth. If he has net worth, why would he come to you? Because if you look at MSME, so if you go to, let's say, Faridabad near Delhi, there are lots of MSMEs there. And most of them are zero debt. They built up those businesses with their own capital. They've come to a stage where they don't need any bank financing and they don't take any bank financing. On the other hand, you will find MSMEs where people really, really do believe in their idea. They'll go and borrow money from private lenders, which is expensive money, and then build their business on that basis. And over some years, come to a situation where they repay the money and then it's a stable business in their hands. So banks have very limited role to play in this sector. Even SIDBI, whom do you approach in SIDBI? All you can do is go to their website, fill up a form, and they will never respond. So the only way this works is for borrowers to engage consultants like yourself who knows the people in the banks or who know people at SIDBI who will approach them and at least get the MSME heard. That's what my experience has been. It may sound very harsh, but
That's why, sir, Mr. Gupta, we invite you to know the factual position because you are helm of affair for the financial sector. Now you are turned to be entrepreneur also. So especially we selected you to know the depth of the things and your suggestion. What you have given a suggestion, I think excellent suggestion you have given. Let this should be an insurance company who can.
that's how it works globally.
I think this is the measure. Then you are also suggested some judicial should be strengthened. So I think these are the two aspects you are suggesting. I think they well understand. Lekin major aspect is credit guarantee schemes are available, where the pure credit of the SME sector is also covered. Now government is also thinking to cover about 100 crore rupees credit for the SME sector.
But Gupta ji, how do you get access to that credit guarantee?
So that is a banker had to go ahead. No,
They don't do that.
borrowers. That means still people they just like our SME is not fully aware. Similarly, the banker are also not aware. Banker are
Exactly.
not thinking in that line because when you are talking about the without collateral security, you can give up to 10 lakhs rupees, 5 lakhs rupees, but still whether you are getting it because they are not aware. Let this system should be very, very clear by the Credit Guarantee Corporation. If you are taken a guarantee and if you are taking any collateral security, we will not pay you the guarantee. That is a point, that important aspect which they should amend it.
And another point here is
Sir,
that
sir,
the cost of credit for MSMEs is very high.
very high. You are right. You are right.
And I don't know what the solution there is because to be fair, risk is higher, so cost has to be higher. But then if the cost is higher, it makes the business somewhat unviable. So how do you encourage these MSMEs? Now, I'm actually not in favor of any subsidies because subsidies are not the way to build businesses. But there has to be some mechanism whereby MSMEs can access credit at a reasonable cost. See, today what happens is that you will end up going to and I know of this company in Delhi, they actually borrowed at 21%. Now, if you're borrowing at 21%, then your business has to give you at least 30% return so that you can make some return on equity. If your business is giving you 30% return, I don't know what business would that be.
Gupta, I understood your point. I will come back to you. Now I'm coming to Sir Vivesh sir. Vivesh sir is having a 23-year plus experience of progressive experience in the aspect of assets management, banking, investment banking, and private equity. Founder of Apple's integrated multi-solution platform offering end-to-end financial services. He worked in ILFS, he worked in Reliance Capital, HSBC, Motilal Oswal, transforming SME through innovative funds, syndication, merger and acquisition, co-lending, fintech model, infra finance. Sir, you have such a long experience, sir, under the thing. You listen to Madam Thakur and you have listened to Mr. Gupta, who is entrepreneur. Now, please give your thoughts, sir. I think your expert thought will be benefited to our listener, our entrepreneur, sir. Mr. Varvesh, sir. Varvesh Patel, sir.
So thanks a lot for having me, Gupta ji. And Mr. Neeraj, I think, I think I fully agree with him. And the experience is almost same. Whenever we try to dealt with the MSME, so it is a dilemma. Like, if I have the collateral, if I have the, large balance sheet, there are many other options. But I am, let's say, poor MSME and who is looking for innovative financial solutions where the traditional bankers are not understanding the innovations. And the global market has some solutions around that. As we were just discussing that how many MSMEs are actually doing the various kind of a supply chain financing arrangements. Unless you have the credible buyer, then only the most of the exchanges are accepting the bills. So most of the MSME are handling B2B, but more of a job work kind of a work. They are not having much of the exports, but if even if they are doing the export, they are doing to the traders basically. So the traders profile is not considered as a end profile, and hence they are not able to get the discounting on the receivables. So all those issues are very prevalent. Now, my best, I mean, what is the light? I mean, in the tunnel which we could see now. So basically, if I mean, factoring is an evolving subject. Okay, so although it's been talked about since last more than 2 decades, but in terms of a maturity angle, I think it can bring the credibility for the MSME, but unfortunately, those datas are not been truly integrated with the credit bureau, and hence the idea of so issue with the MSME is the rating. Now, even if you are doing the factoring, most of the credit bureaus are not integrated with the factoring companies, and most of the time this is off balance sheet item. So that's why the credibility building is a major issue here. But having said that, there are lots of other options where we can do the formalization of receivable data. If the government can work around that, then there is a definitely, I see that if there is a transparent record of sales receivable or the customer payment behavior, so that data, the exchanges like M1 exchange or any other receivable exchange can use that thing, and kind of, it can serve as an alternative to the credit history, right? So this is definitely required as a new initiative, like how can we create the transparent and reliable data, and maybe any reliable credit bureau can take up these assignments. If this can happen, then possibly, like, one solution is definitely global companies are relying on the insurance. Second could be the data, so if this data can be structured around that, then it can solve a lot of problem. So this is primary observations. There are, I mean, definitely certain limitations, but these limitations can be removed over the long term period. So there are certain issues around policies. Most of the time, the factoring people are aware of the export factoring, and very less MSMEs are doing the domestic factoring. Bill discounting many people are doing, but typically under the umbrella of domestic factoring, very less things are happening. So I think mostly what we need to work around is some structured credit data, and that data can be useful as a to underwrite the bills basically. So insurance is definitely one good thing. Second is this kind of a data, and if the government can endorse this data, or any exchange can endorse it, the credit bureau can underwrite this data, then possibly this can be solvable, because collateral is a real issue, guarantees is a real issue. Nobody want to give the personal guarantees these days. So I think we have to take these kind of steps.
Very nice, Bhavesh sir, what you're mentioning is the data structuring, credit structuring. But GST is available. GST may every data is available for the receivable. So that will not serve the purpose. Certain organization, I know the fintech company, we are collecting the data from the GST and loading the information. such thing can be done by the factoring, what you suggesting? Another point, what I'm asking from you, whether regarding the equipment financing, how it can be helpful when we are talking about these sale and lease back. So whether it can be helpful to the SME sector if they are going for the sale and lease back model.
Yeah, I think at times, basically, it can release the cash flow, basically. So you remain asset light, and
Yes.
it is a good format of bringing some cash in the system. So typically, there are many funds are available in the markets with some innovative structures. So either sale and lease back kind of a model. So same way, even in the equipment side is also, because in the heavy machinery, capital goods industry, this is very, very useful, because the machine which you have bought it, is generally expensive, and if you can sell it and lease back, it releases some cash flow, and it is definitely a good thing for MSME to do. So I think overall, um, these are the innovations around the how the converting these assets into the operating cash flow. So these are the good ways, and one should definitely look at.
Thank you very much, sir. I think this is the major aspect for the small entrepreneur also. If they can go for the sale and lease back, the model, I think because assets light will be also be there, and they are also paying only rent for that. And after a few years, 5 year, 10 year, you can take back that asset again in your books. I think that is a more important aspect. So now important aspect what we are talking about the factory. So we have Bisham Pitama of factory, Sri Tushar Bhuj sir, who is a senior director, MI Exchange. I think no match for him to factoring. So I will not pose any question for him. Only point, my point is, when we are talking about the factoring in India, is less than 1% of GDP are being availed under the factoring. When we are talking about other country, European country or other place, we have more than 10% of GDP there, sir. So what are the structural barriers, sir, to hold back such adoption here, sir, in India? Why this platform which you are coming up, and my friend of the Receivable Exchange of India is also coming up, and so many other exchanges are coming. So what are these barriers, sir? Why we are not going ahead with the this factoring, sir? So I hand over to Tushar, sir. Please give your thoughts, sir.
Thank you, KKG, for inviting me to this platform. It's very interesting to hear the varying points and the varying perspectives on the same issue that we all of us are going to talk here today, the MSME finance. And I would just say that, the central bank, Madam Kavita, gave a very interesting definition, that MSME is a small package, but with huge dreams and huge deliverables. My friend from the factoring fraternity, he had defined the MSME even more precisely: my sweat, my equity. I need not give any collaterals. I am here, my skill, my enterprise, my sweat is my equity. And, he likes to, define the MSMEs that way. But coming to your point, that why, let's say, factoring in India as a percentage of GDP, if we say, is much lesser than, let's say, what is in West Europe or North America or some such economies. So, it has something to do, first of all, with the varying and different trade practices. So in India, the biggest supplier of credit, and that is credit on tap, is something called as a cash credit account by the banks. Now, with this kind of a on tap credit available, there was little chance for any other, financial instrument to get developed. Moreover, uh, there was no legal structure to support the factoring in India until 1st April 2012, when the Factoring Regulation Act was enacted. So first time, assignment of receivables. After all, what is factoring? You sell off your receivables. Your unpaid invoices, you give it off to a factor. So the assignment of receivables in favor of a factor or a financier or a banker, or whoever you like to define it as, that instrument was not defined, and whatever the assignment those days were available, it carried a very heavy stamp duty. And only the Factoring Regulation Act said that the provisions of the Indian Stamp Act shall not apply to the assignment if it is made in so and so, and then they defined how that assignment should be created to get that exemption. So the legal structure for the first time only came in 2012. And then, of course, there was that huge uh, statement that came in from the then RBI governor, Mr. Raghuram Rajan, who said, look, why can't we have a platform, an exchange, where all the MSMEs can come and put their receivables as evidenced by their invoices on a platform, and somebody finances it. And that concept finally, of course, that remained only a concept till in 2016 and 17, the Reserve Bank of India and the Department of Financial Services, Government of India came out with this guidelines to create an exchange, which is we now call the Trade Receivable Discounting System of India, the TRIDS. And everything has been changing since then. So then these ratios and what percentage of factoring is impacting the economy and helping the MSMEs has completely undergone a sea change. And today the TRADES platform, the four active platforms on our economy, we have been discounting invoices to the extent of about 2.5 lakh crores to 3 lakh crores annually. I mean, this is a huge change. So we will see the impact of it only going forward. But as far as the other structural aspects, since KK, you asked me to comment on it, that yes, I fully agree with what Bhaveshji said, that, and also Neeraj Gupta ji said, that yes, possibly architecture of a trade credit insurance that could help, that could support this in a big way. And so that is also being rolled out. Days are not far. Already, trade credit general insurance companies have started offering this product for trade credit insurance for trades. So, but it is yet to see the impact as what trades was in 2017 and trades in 2025. Similarly, trade credit insurance in 2025 and maybe 2030 will be completely different. And the last point I would like to make in terms of structure is, again, thanks Bhaveshji for raising that point, that the digital public infrastructure has to be harnessed to make life easy, to make the appraisals easy. And that is what, part of the success of the trades in India is thanks to this digital public infrastructure. Lot of data, the GST data, the PAN data, the Aadhaar card data has made lot of information available. Of course, with a check, it is not public and it is not very open data, but confidentially, at least you can get a lot of credit history by accessing this digital public infrastructure to an extent that maybe trades itself might become one of the facets of the digital public infrastructure, with the amount of data between the three exchanges put together, four exchanges put together, we would have discounted in our life cycle more than 10 lakh crore invoices. Am I correct? Yes, 10 lakh crore invoices we have already done. So that has helped us build a huge kind of a unprecedented database and the payment history of MSMEs in India. So all these things I think are structurally changing, and the MSMEs, if we ask some of them who have experienced the trades before and after, I'm sure there are different other stories in pipeline. And I'm happy to state, that here in the list of participants, I also see some professionals from equipment finance companies who are now trying to go into supply chain finance. They are also on here. So maybe on some other occasion, or maybe if time permits today, they can also share their views. It is, things are not as black as they seem to be. There is definitely a great illumination at the end of the tunnel, not just a blinking small light. So with this, I think I will leave the floor back with you, KKG.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I think you have covered very nicely for a digital platform. My point is whether the artificial intelligence which coming, it will affect your receivable also in exchange, something like that. It will be better
Uh,
coming days.
Let us say that definitely any technological advances are only helpful, in data mining, in data processing, in understanding the consumer behavior.
Sir,
So that is only going to be helpful, and it will make life easier, I guess. But what the basic difference that has been made, once again going back, it is the digital public infra. The I would say three pillars: the NPCI gateway, the digital public infrastructure, and the Factoring Regulation Act. These three pillars have, helped bring about a lot of change in the life of an MSME. I would not like to, in the interest of time, not detail out anecdotal stories, but there are lots of them, people benefiting, especially when the COVID struck, when physical, interaction with the banks and financiers stopped. It was the trades which stood up and, bailed out, so many MSMEs from their problems. I would
the
like to.
point is for a small entrepreneur, if they are coming 5 or 10 lakhs rupees to for a discount under the receive your platform, whether it can be beneficial instead of going to the bank. What do you feel?
Beneficial to whom, if we see.
For the
So here,
entrepreneur.
yes, so KKG, here you mentioned, the technology, the AI. Now it doesn't matter, once there is an integration, system integration achieved between, let's say, the seller or the buyer and the financier, everything flows in through the system. So whether it is a 5 rupee invoice or a 5 crore invoice, it doesn't matter. It
Okay.
gets processed equally well. And in fact, Kailash, my colleague from RXL, will also bear this out, that there are lots of large corporates who have several hundred small invoices that make one factoring unit. So it doesn't come in the way. In fact, it is beneficial.
That goes to the entrepreneur that if you want to go to exchange to discount your receivable, I think it is better option. Now I am coming to respective Shri Kailash Kumarji,
Yes.
who is a CEO, CFO, Receivable Exchange of India. So, sir, you have listened to our great person, Sir Tushar, sir. I think no word for his appreciation. Give your thoughts, sir, for a SME sector, sir. What will be advantage to go to your exchange instead of going to the bank? What advantage they can have? Sir
Yeah.
Kailash, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I think thank you for inviting us. First of all, when I address this particular question, I definitely a few points of
My,
Mr. Gupta.
my point is when he is small for entrepreneur, 10 lakh rupees, he is coming to the exchange.
Yeah,
Because they are benefited instead of going to the bank because bank is also discounting.
correct. So yeah, thanks. So I think the benefit what I cover, I'll definitely get the answer to one of the queries of Mr. Gupta and Mr. Bhavesh. So let me just first share some data which Tushar sir has already said that in trades are there from last 8 years, and 8 years we have discounted around 6.3 lakh crore of financing. If I just talk about last year figure FY25, around 2.33 lakh crore got financed to trades platform. Today around 1 lakh 50 plus MSME get benefit of trades. More than 6,000 buyers are there, correct? And there are 70 financiers. We have handled more than 22 crore invoices ranging from 100 rupees to 22 crore. Okay, ranging from 1 day tenure to 180 days kind of thing. Okay, now the benefit of the trades to the MSME sector. First and very important that the balance sheet of MSME don't get analyzed over here. It's completely on the strength of the buyer, correct? So as Mr. Gupta was saying, or Mr. Bhavesh was saying that they see the credit worthiness of the borrower, correct? Here the borrower is not the MSME, their receivables get financed based on the strength of the buyer. Based on the acceptance of the buyer, the receivable get financed. That means there is no collateral to be given by the seller, MSME seller. Second, and a very important tech, because this is an auction-based mechanism, where buyer, based on the buyer strength, the different financier do financing rate. That means it's a bidding activity. That brings the price discovery on the platform. So no collateral, price discovery, competitive pricing, completely digital and transparent platform. Okay, the balance sheet will not get hampered as far as the MSME is concerned. There is no threshold limit for invoice financing. What you had mentioned about 5 lakh or 10 lakh, we have seen 1,000 rupees invoices also get discounted on the platform. Okay. Another portion is that the rate quoted by the financer, as I already mentioned, is the price discovery is based on strength of the buyer. So if buyer is double rated or triple rated or rated, the rates will go down based on that. Okay, there is no limit assigned on the MSME seller. That means the exposure is taken on a buyer. Okay, collateral fee, price discovery is one of the biggest advantages of the MSME. Today, we are all platform discounting more than 30,000 crore of financing every month. This is how the impact the trades platform has given. I know still we are not scratched the surface of it. The kind of contribution the trades platform has given in the MSME sector is good to be honest. But there's lots of things to be done specifically in this particular scenario. One of the important areas that the MSME, without following up, without visiting the branch, they can get immediate fund. So today, if the invoice is loaded, if the invoice is accepted and the rate is accepted, next day T+1, automatically the MSME get payment in their working capital bank account or current account wherever they don't have any working capital limits, correct? This reduces their financing cost also. Okay, so no collateral, competitive pricing, faster fund, digital, transparent, paperless, no sanction to be done given by the banker. Exposure is marked on the buyer, not on the MSME. These all are the benefit for the MSME. If we just compare with the traditional where Mr. Neeraj also said that collateral has to be given, and then based on the collateral or based on the creditworthiness, the MSME limits get defined by the bankers. Obviously, banker will have their own limitations also, policies also. But here on a trades platform, these are completely based on the strength of the buyer.
Sir, I think you have covered very nicely for that. The major aspect is you are discounting 180 days. Okay. So under the Income Tax Act, it is a 45 days for SME should get the payment. So whether it is not a conflict of interest with both the, because instead of 45 days, they are getting the benefit of 180 days by the big corporates. When Income Tax Act says it is 45 days.
So I was expecting this
have
question.
any views on that, sir? I think this is a very ticklish issue,
Yeah.
which I should not ask you. Like it's still in my mind, something is going on. Have any view on that, sir?
Yes, sir. So I was expecting this question,
You are expecting?
Yeah, I was expecting this question.
I've suddenly raised this question.
Yeah, so I see the thing is that the trades platform support factoring as well as reverse factoring. And please understand that when there is a delay for a particular MSME in getting the payment, when might be there is a fund mismatch at the buyer end also. This platform support factoring where the supplier requires the fund. Okay, he will bear the financing cost. Let's example 45 days, 30 days, whatever is there. And the reverse factoring where buyer requires the funds to make the payment to the MSMEs within 45 days. Coming back to your question.
Right.
In that particular scenario, the buyer will bear the financing cost. Ultimate aim is that the MSMEs should get payment within 45 days from the buyer. Or if MSME requires the fund within or 5th day or 6th day, okay, for that 45 days or 30 days, they can get the financing based on the strength of the buyer, which is without recourse to the MSME. So it will not get marked to this balance sheet for the MSMEs. I hope I cleared.
No, you are very clear. There is a question. What question is on the screen? If you see. So Excel accept the bills of a company registered with the Excel only. Kindly clarify. Have
Sorry, sir?
anything to say? You are only accepting the bill who have registered with you.
Correct.
Definitely.
See,
They want any clarification for that.
yes,
Definitely. You will only accept the bill who are registered with you.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. See,
Otherwise,
at the end
you
of the day,
cannot
someone
do
has
it.
to,
Ajay?
yeah,
So
someone has
before,
to take the obligation, correct?
yeah,
Unless
you are
and
right.
until, yeah, unless and until buyer comes and accept his obligation,
Ajay.
and that obligation is now okay with the financer that to take a credit exposure to that particular buyer, their presence on the platform is mandatory, correct? See,
It
at
is
the end of the day, we
mandatory.
also I have to abide by the guidelines of RBI with respect to compliance, with respect to the agreement, the KYC document. This platform support a very important part that the buyer match auto debit mandate requirement. So which allows us to debit the buyer account on a due date to recover the money, correct?
Yeah, you
And
are right.
that comfort level the financer will have that when they expect the fund to be come on the due date. And that is the beauty of this particular platform.
Sure. That is mandatory for all the exchanges that a buyer should be registered with you.
Absolutely.
Then the seller can go to your platform to discount the bill.
Yeah, correct.
I think that is the philosophy under the system. You cannot do it otherwise. So, sir, apna,
In
sir, you
fact,
want to say something?
yeah, in fact, to Manohar Shetty ji, who has raised this question, I can
Sir,
only, offer him a hope that, many years ago, we had to go to a telephone company and to get a particular number for a mobile, and we had to stay for life. And if we had to, go to another company, we would get another number. But then the interpolability came. So who knows, between one day, between all the trades exchanges, interpolability will come if that kind of technology is there. And then, somebody registered on RXL can deal with A trades, somebody on A trades can deal with M1 exchange. Who knows, so it's just how the future will fold out. We don't know.
yes, sir, yes,
So,
sir.
sir, I just want to add what Tushar sir said.
Sir,
Today
sir,
as a
sir.
TRADES platform, we are a digital payment infrastructure. I'll say in simple word, where the MSME can get onboarded if obviously keep all the document ready within 15 minutes. Because we are, through API, we are connected to various public infrastructure where we can pull many data. Okay, so that MSME registration process is very simplified. And second and very important part is that even unfinanced invoices can also get settled through TRADES platform, which will also give some kind of benefit to the corporate as well as MSME to get payment on time through TRADES platform.
Okay. If a one buyer is not registered, I think you cannot discount the bill. That is very clear, na, sir?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's why government has mandated that all the corporates whose turnover is there more than 250 crore
Yes,
and
it is
all the
mandatory.
TPSs who mandatory get registered TRADES
It is
platform.
mandatory, they have to register.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, you are right. Sir, one
I
of
have a
the
small question.
Bhavesh sir,
I
one
have
two
a
questions
small-
are there. Let me should complete it. Shrikesh, whether you can give a reply, Bhavesh sir? In
No,
any accounts,
I'm just asking one question.
बोलिए sir, बताइए.
I have two questions. Maybe Mr. Tushar or Mr. Kailash can answer. See, like in the typical supply chain finance, pre-shipment finance or purchase invoice discounting products are big in demand in the MSME. Okay, because receivable discountings are relatively easier for them. Now the full ecosystem is built. Now, what are the similar things can be thought through in the factoring, related things like, anything on that side, some innovations can be done, where, because even in the purchase invoice discounting side, there are too much of caveats are there, in terms of turnover, in terms of many other things. So, any discussions are going on at your home that advertise the kind of things at the factoring? I mean, receivable side is one thing, but what about the purchase side?
Can I take this?
Yes, Kailash, please go ahead.
Maybe,
So I
yes,
I
please.
think I got the question, because a particular one MSME is there who's supplying to a larger corporate. In turn, he might be taking the purchases from a smaller micro enterprises. Take an example of it, correct? So yeah, we are working on that particular model also. We normally call as a MSME to MSME financing, correct? And today, with the GST concern and with the bank statement analysis and under account aggregator and from the consent from we can pull the data from the IT and income tax. So we can give one kind of scoring to the financer which can help them to take a underwriting. That is one part of it, correct? Secondly, also working with the insurance or CGTMSE, who can also do a risk sharing with respect to when the financer take an exposure on this particular smaller to smaller companies, correct? This we are already working on it. There are few cases where already successfully done it, but yes, there are a lot to do over there, this particular part. Plus another question when you said ki PO financing kind of thing, and this can be looked after. That once we have a good amount of analysis, a data available with the trades platform, same one particular MSME is supplying it to a large corporate. Now tomorrow he have a purchase order, and based on the previous experience and the run rate or cash flow, or you can say the sales, regular sales, if the financer is comfortable taking a purchase order financing, that can be also explored, and many financiers are doing it, correct? So this is where we are already working on it, MSME to MSME specifically, because very close to the heart, obviously, but we have to strengthen our underwriting processes, and also to see how we can give a cover, credit cover, either through insurance or CGTMSE or NCGTC, so that the finance are also comfortable taking exposure on those MSME purchaser.
Sir, there are two questions. Anybody can reply, otherwise I will say. So, sir, Bhavesh sir, you can give a reply for this question. Shrikesh?
Yeah. In fact, there is one question on what is the difference between factoring and bill discounting.
Yes, sir.
So I would just like to mention it to the gentleman Advait. Yeah, Advaita ji, it's very simple. In factoring, the entire receivables book, whatever you have sold and is unpaid, all your invoices are sold to a intermediary who's known as a factor or a financier. Whereas in bill discounting, it is borrowing. You are taking a loan against something that you have sold. So in one, you are completely assigning all your receivables, the right to receive the money under the receivables to a financier. Whereas in the other case, you are hypothecating the charge on these receivables to a financier and borrowing against those debt. So it's just a way in dealing finance, but also it impacts the way these things, these money that you receive is reflected in your balance sheet. In one, it becomes a debt. In others, it is cash. So I don't know. I mean, I would not like to academically expand on that further, but I hope the definition is clear.
Another question, I
Right,
think the gentleman has asked that whether the financing is cheaper as compared to the banking loan. Yes, it is. Why? Because first of all, the banker or a financer is financing the receivables of the MSME based on the strength of the buyer, correct? There is a competition between the financer to take a exposure on that particular buyer. So because of the competition, there is a bidding mechanism, the rate will go down, correct? Plus the banker also get a priority sector lending benefit, okay? That will also encourage them to give a very concessional or very fine rate. I'll not say concessional, but very fine rate. So this will bring the price discovery. So one of the biggest benefit of this particular platform is that price discovery. Any marketplace, basically, one of the advantages is price discovery. So this is how the rate will go down as compared to their existing working capital financing cost.
Very important. Very important. Another question is normally how much funding we can get, 70 to 80% of the machine cost. It is there, they have mentioned it, however, maximum you can have 10 or 15% margin. Again, she was asking for 25% margin. That means up to 75% you can get the funding. If there any movement toward property sector, lending status for equipment financing, like agriculture machinery, because if it is coming under the definition of the property sector, lending it will become. If you are taking a machinery or otherwise, it will come in that only. Can someone throw some light on the leasing and assignment of the receivable, mainly in the help of funding of the machine equipment and legal ecosystem available in the safeguard of the lending? This model is something different than the assignment of the receivable. So that means you can have a different receivable assignment, and leasing model is something different. We will explain you detail if you want in a offline, so you can send me, we will give a reply to that also. Mr. Ramesh want to take a loan from NBFC, but their NOC is required for the banks. Is machinery finance has now compliance work from lender perspective? In machinery finance, how compliance work? I could not understand what is the compliance work you are asking about. All the term of the lending you have to comply with, because the machinery is hypothecated to the bank, not equity mortgage. If it is a earth, then it will be equity mortgage. I think that is a compliance. If anything in your mind, please send me the message. We will give you separate reply. What is difference between the discounting of the BOE and discounting invoice on platform? Anybody can reply for this? Because has is आपको difference कोई इसका? What is difference between the discounting of BOE and discounting of invoice on the platform?
No, I think KK, that is what I answered. One is raising a debt, the other is selling your receivables. It's just that. But yes, there is another question, last one I think coming up, that how will the IBDIC and PSB alliance affect factoring platforms?
Sure.
Kailash, would you like to take that?
Very Kalaji.
Yes, so to be very honest, this is more going towards the interoperability part of it, correct? But we had already presented to RBI on this, and discussion is going on. So once if anything comes up, then definitely it will be available on public listing also. But interoperability, as Tushar has already explained, that one seller is registered on one particular platform and buyers is registered on another platform, whether that invoice can be financed. So yes, we are working on it, and definitely soon we'll be coming out with the direction over that.
I think now we are over stretch of time. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If any question still left, we will reply that question from the resurgent side. Okay, I'm thankful to all my eminent speakers who have given their practical knowledge to the entrepreneur. I think looking into the so many questions, I think people like your webinar. You must appreciate that this webinar is going to be very useful for every entrepreneur. So we are
Thank you.
in India, we are a merchant banker, we are investment banker, we are giving training to the bankers, and we are conducting TV reports, even TPR we are preparing. Anybody interested for that we are at your disposal. So we are doing mostly every month 1 or 2 webinars. Besides, we are also a knowledge partner with almost all the chambers in India. On the different subjects, we are doing it. So if anything in your mind regarding the webinar, other webinar, because we try, come to your expectation. So please do write to us. So we will come back to you. Lastly, I'm thankful to my staff member who is off the screen, Mr. Devesh, Mr. Yogesh, and all other people, Mr. Chaudhary, and who cannot be seen on the screen, because without their help, I could not do anything. I'm thankful to them for all arranging the speakers, other things. Thank you very much for that. Again, I am thankful to all my participants who have a confidence in us. In every month, they are registering themselves and giving their feedback. I'm only requesting all the participants, please give your feedback to us for further improvement, if any required for that. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Resident team, all the participants, thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you again, sir.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye, sir.